How do you account for latency between a click and purchase with day parting? Actually, maybe we could do Dan or what have you. How do you account for latency between click and purchase to make sure you're accurately picking the proper day parting times that drive profitable clicks? If there's latency, how do you account for that?
I don't typically spend a whole lot of time thinking about that, because what I'm trying to do is just gain an increase in performance. What I would say is that if it takes more than an hour for them to get around to it, you're at a vanishingly small percentage, and it's to me not an effective use of my time to try and do statistical math on stuff when I can work on something else that I know will get a bump.
Okay. I've got a question. This one is for any one of you. How often do your ads get rejected using DKI syntax, all caps?
How often do they get rejected? So when I do put them on, with the DKI, all caps.
With the DKI.
That's a good question. So I actually previously I used to note that you really can't appear higher than the top of the right column. But I just saw an advertiser in number 1 who didn't have that problem. So I think it really depends on how much that kind of vertical is being viewed. I mean, I did that one once on a vertical where we were spending, I don't know, $80,000+ a day, and just having that in all caps for 12 hours was worthwhile. So. Needless to say that the following 12 hours looked very similar after we resubmitted a new ad that was identical.
I've actually seen them run for years, though, if you intentionally want to do that. Not that that's always recommended, but it's usually good for a quick initial quality score boost. But they are kind of a little more lenient when it comes to some of that stuff, again, depending on your vertical.
Well, I'm going to answer it in a slightly different way. I'm always a kid that got beat up on the playground, because if I saw someone that was using an all caps ad against me, I'd call my Googler up and say, "Do you believe this crap?
Anyways,
do you believe the nerve of these people?" And then maybe I get to one of your ads. Sorry. I'm sure you kicked my butt any number of times on that. All right, this is for Dan Soha again. You said Yahoo gives DKI ads extra credit.
Yeah.
Have you seen Google give, or Microsoft to that impact, give any preferential treatment to ads using DKI?
No. That's about it, just no.
No. Okay. Well, good. Anyone else want to disagree? Wrong.
Google's explicitly said that they don't. If that helps.
No, I think the myth that I think we went over yesterday is that oftentimes DKI ads, because of the nature of click attraction of bolded text, may yield higher click-through rates, but in and of itself, per se, they don't have a higher click-through or higher score.
It actually goes to both of Addie and our point where on Google you have to bid up the keyword so you can kind of get that normalized click-through rate of the jump in the beginning. That's because Google is actually looking at the data, and Yahoo is making like kind of suggested assumptions based on dynamic keyword insertion.
Okay, question for Dan Soha. Dan, that's because you spent all your time doing so many tactics, man. But I'll also open this up to any one of the panelists to give a flavor of it. So, how is Yahoo's advanced match not the same as broad match for Google?
So, it frankly just isn't. I mean, the broad match on Google, you bid on a keyword, and say, I mean, if I were bidding on the word sunglasses, as I previously said, I would imagine that 99% of my queries aren't going to be exactly the phrase sunglasses. Now, in the case of Yahoo, what they're essentially doing is, I mean, they are attempting kind of a broad match, but what they're doing is they're trying to map the phrase that you're bidding on with, a query. So, for instance, they may map the phrase sunglasses to a list of queries that they find very similar. In one common situation is like in the auto insurance space. If you're bidding on auto insurance on Yahoo, then you end up getting advanced match to car insurance as well. But it's not quite the same broad match feeling that maybe someone else can explain better.
Well, just, I mean, what you wish Google's broad match worked like is more like Yahoo's standard match. Google's broad match can be just insanely broad sometimes. If you're selling dog food, they might have a match when someone searches for cat food. Mm-hmm. No joke. You can see that in the analytics if you look at it.
There are actually two questions that are a nice testament to the fact that you guys made some good cookbook steps on how to do things. I think people are probably sitting at their desk trying to actually get all of Yahoo's keywords for a particular set or write their own bid management. But can you please post your PowerPoints online? And the answer is they should all be up by Thursday. Like I said the other day, at SMX Advanced, we only put the freshest, best content. If the content is more than 20 minutes old, we throw it out, right? I mean, we only... Yeah. So it'll be up there by Thursday. Let's see. Asked by Matt. What's the consensus on matching clicks to actions these days? We use a 30-day window, last ad clicked. So what's your consensus on how you should attribute clicks and actions? Or how do you?
So I'm not positive I understand the question. I think, I kind of try to calculate with like different algorithms what one keyword might be, what one keyword click might be assisting in the conversions of the others. I find that in lower like shorter term sale processes where someone clicks and converts within minutes, obviously, you don't need to attribute much. But when it's a product that's, a high cost product or a very long lead form, I try not to do too much attribution on nearest or, most recent click. We do try to use, I try to focus on using conversion tracking, Google, Yahoo, and Microsoft conversion tracking, because I think it provides visibility to yourself and the rest of the company. And in the case of Yahoo, I do try to give some value to assist.
Okay. Well, we've only got 8.5 seconds left. So there are a couple of good questions that came in just at the last minute. Those are the best, freshest questions that we've got in the whole thing. So the panelists will be here around for a few more minutes. So let's give them a warm round of applause and thank you for